For Queen City Confessions.
If you want to get your confession in, text the word HITS along with your confession and send it to 96893 and you remain anonymous.
Here's the first one. This is a happy confession.
Oh.
My boyfriend and I talked about eloping after he proposes because I want the whole experience, and then saving up for a wedding ceremony for next year. I'm so excited.
Ah. Hallelujah for something that's just nice and easy breezy and delightful. I love to hear a good confession sometimes. And also, I'm just more and more on board with the thought of eloping.
Right.
Now, this person is also going to save up for like a ceremony, but man, in this economy, it's not a bad idea.
Let me tell you, as a person that's still paying off our wedding from 2 years ago,
yeah,
it is worth it. But my advice is always, if you want a big wedding ceremony, do it. I don't regret what we did because
you really wanted that whole experience.
I did. That would be the only time that my family from Atlanta and my husband's family from Buffalo, New York would be able to be together at one time. And I wanted to see everyone fancy. So to me, it was worth it. But if you don't want that, do not feel pressured into doing it.
Right.
Here's the next Queen City confession. Today's my last day of a 4-month maternity leave.
Oh.
I know 16 weeks is a really great benefit for people in the US, but it definitely is not enough time. I don't feel the mom guilt of working and sending my baby to daycare. I feel guilt for being an employee who is now a mom and knowing that I will need to half-ass work in order to keep it all together.
Man, it's just that thing. You can't have, you can have everything, but you can't have it all at the same time. So you are right in that when you're really excelling at parenting, maybe you're not excelling at your job. Or if you're really knocking it out of the park at work, something with your kid is going to fall through the cracks. And that's just, I don't think there is such a thing as work-life balance. And so just take comfort in knowing that we're all just struggling to get through it. And high five on that 16, what is it, 16 weeks?
Yeah, 16 weeks.
I had 6. 2 of them were my vacation.
Good old American healthcare.
Love it.
Here's the next Queen City confession. I'm thinking of breaking up with one of my best friends. All they do is trauma dump every time we get together. She'll text me for a catch-up happy hour, and I spend the entire time listening to how much she hates her husband, kids, job, parents, everything. I can't do it anymore. Has anyone broken up with a friend before? How do I do it? How do you break up with a friend like that?
Well, first, I would step back and be like, okay, it's normal to have these feelings, but is this a friendship that you want to potentially spend some time saving? Because there's always the option to let that person know.
Right.
Maybe they're unaware that they're doing this to you. And if you really like this person and you would like to, put up some boundaries or let them hey, you're kind of trauma dumping here. And that's a lot for me to take in. Then you can have that conversation and hopefully the behavior would change because maybe they become more self-aware. And if then it doesn't get better, then you may have to just take some steps. But if you want to just dump the whole thing and you're like, I don't feel like working through this. No, I don't. I would just ghost them. I don't know how you actually have a breakup with a friend. You call them and you're like, hey, it's been really good hanging out and being friends with you, but I'm not going to do it anymore. I don't know.
Have you ever had to break up with a friend? Why and how did you do it? Did you just ghost them, or did you sit down and have a conversation like this was a person you were dating, a romantic relationship? How did you break up with a friend? 1-844-HIT-961.
1-844-448-7961 or text us. Put the word HITS with your message and send it to 96893.
Or if you've had a friend that's a trauma dumper like this confessor, how did you deal with that? We'll take your calls next on Hits 96.1. Right now, it's Christina Aguilera. Waiting for